Well, look who we have back on the Dak attack today. One Mr. Bart Scott. Now, I told y'all in yesterday's video, we were going to put our sights directly on Bart Scott because this dude has had a bad habit of having impartial and unfair takes against not only the Dallas Cowboys, but more specifically, Dak Prescott. Check out this time last year where Ron Clark actually had to check Bart Scott again concerning Dak Prescott because he was just throwing around unsolicited hate. And then we about to look at some numbers showing why this dude may be so damn mad.
We know that he said he's not retiring, so he's going to get an opportunity to prove that he's not washed. When you look at his statistics, he's still throwing the ball at a high level. I mean, he's not leading the league in interceptions. That would be Dak Prescott, correct? So, I mean, he's still a good quarterback.
Why do you hate Dak?
You sound like Tad, man. I don't hate Dak.
I don't sound like you hate him. Last week you said the man couldn't run. The man had to go out and run for first downs against the Philadelphia Eagles. You never came back and said, oh, I might be wrong. He can at least run a little bit. He can at least get first down.
It's my second day on TV. I apologize, Dak. You can run.
Thank you. The man can run. And now we talking about a whole other team, and you got to throw Dak Prescott in there. Are you?
Yeah, for some reason it does keep going all the way back to Dallas.
Well, because you brought Dallas in, and Dallas wasn't even, we contractually obligated to always include Dallas.
Exactly. This is the dude that everyone is looking at and watching on national TV thinking that he's some sort of ESPN analyst. He's not an analyst. He's not a journalist. He's a retired NFL football player that had a subpar career in which his best year was when he was hanging on the sack of Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Terrell Suggs on the defense to the point to where no one was even paying attention to this dude, and he was able to sneak in a couple more sacks than what he's used to. Oh, and as if that wasn't enough, he's also a huge hypocrite. This was the same dude that had an issue with the way the media was covering one of his teams during his time in the league.
And we're pissed off. We was ready to come back and show what type of defense, what type of team this was, what kind of character we had. We take a lot of slack. People gave us no chance, like we barely made it in playoffs. We're a good football team.
It looks like this team played with anger all day. Why, Bart?
For all you non-believers, disrespect us, talk crap about the defense like we ain't the third best defense in the league.
Let's go ahead and take a look at Mr. Bart Scott's career and see if he even has a license to be talking as greasy as he does about the Dallas Cowboys and more specifically Dak Prescott. First things first, let's check out his career stats. Bart Scott is a player that played from 2002 to 2012. He spent 8 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens and 4 seasons with the New York Jets. And won't you know it, his best season was in 2006 with the Baltimore Ravens, where he almost got to 10 sacks on the season. He almost got to 10 sacks, and I wonder who was all on that team. I mentioned a little bit earlier. Oh, I don't have to wonder. Here's the 2006 Baltimore Ravens depth chart. Let's see. His left defensive end, Trevor Pryce. His defensive tackle, Kelly Gregg. His right defensive tackle, Haloti Ngata. His right defensive end, Terrell Suggs. His linebackers, Adelius Thomas, Ray Lewis, and Bart Scott. So you wasn't even the best player in your own position group, and you have the nerve to sit here and talk about who's good and who's not in the NFL when, again, your best season came in the midst of being on a historic defense, bro. A historically great defense with like 4 Hall of Famers right here. And I didn't even get to Ed Reed. They had DeJuan Landry. They had Samari Rolle as a cornerback. Chris McAllister as another. You see how good that defense was? And this is your claim to fame, Bart Scott. This is when you had your most success over your career, in which you logged 9.5 sacks. That's pretty decent. 2 interceptions for a linebacker is respectable. But holy crap, that 2 interceptions was more than you had for the rest of the seasons you played in your career. Brother, you went to 1 Pro Bowl over the course of 8 years. You played alongside players that are going to go down in the annals of history as some of the best defensive players of all time. And look at your tackle numbers, 16, 19, 13, 6. Who is Bart Scott? The best thing you're actually known for is your clip. And even you know that Because you got a part of the soundbite as part of your Twitter username handle. This guy's a joke.
Can't wait.
This guy's a joke, but yet he wants to talk about one Dakota Rain Prescott, in which, let's take a look at the stat that matters. If we take a look at most wins by a QB since 2016, where do you think the average man would place Dak Prescott? Oh, they'd be like, oh, he's not up that high. Dak Prescott is ass. Absolutely not. Dak Prescott is only behind, through 2016, he's only behind Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. Those are the only quarterbacks since Dak Prescott became a starting quarterback in the league. Those are the only quarterbacks that have won more games than Dak Prescott since that time. The only ones. And I think all three of those guys are for sure first ballot Hall of Famers. So we got to take a step back, because I keep seeing this thing with Cowboys fans, and it's weird. I don't know who you're trying to get to like you. I keep seeing this thing where Cowboys fans have this urge to tell people, I'm a Dallas fan, but I also think that Dak Prescott sucks. Hey, brother, you can go root for the Jets. You can go root for the Philadelphia Eagles. You can go root for the nameless team, I guess the Commanders over there. You don't have to be a Cowboys fan. Why do you have to preference yourself by saying, it's like you're trying to get other fans from other fan bases to like you or something. You don't realize they're still going to clown you. They're not going to be like, screw all the Dallas Cowboys fans except for that one guy that actually agreed with me and said that Dak isn't a good quarterback. All you're doing is making yourself look like a clown. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing is make yourself look like a clown, because not only are you saying something that's factually incorrect, we can look at the stats. It's not just the teams Dak's been on. Have we forgotten that the Cowboys had a year or two stretch where they had a historically bad defense? Have we forgotten that? Have we forgotten that he had to deal with that? Have we forgotten that after his rookie season, they pretty much gutted the whole offense? All the veterans were gone. All the old guard were gone. They pretty much had to start over offense. Did we forget that? Did we forget all that, y'all? I think we forgot all of that. Have we forgotten that for the large part of his career, he's only had a primary receiver or an X-receiver? Have we forgotten that? And at one point, he didn't even have that. Have we forgotten that? Okay, I'm just wondering. So we got Dak Prescott. Patrick Mahomes is a little bit more impressive because he has more wins with less games played, about season's worth less games played. So obviously, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. No one's trying to say Dak Prescott is Patrick Mahomes. But 99 games played, that's less than the next 6 quarterbacks or 5 quarterbacks on this list, with Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Derek Carr, and then we have Russell Wilson right there as well. That's less games than those dudes. More wins, comparable passing numbers. If we look at all those guys, they all have comparable passing numbers, right? All of them. 2,200 for Dak, 2,200 for Russell Wilson, 26 for Kirk because they like to throw it out because they're always getting blown out. Jared Goff had 23, Derek Carr 25, so it's negligible. It's negligible numbers right there with the passing stats. We look at the completion percentage. Dak actually has a better completion percentage than all of them except for Kirk Cousins. So 66.6% is literally better than the 3 guys above him: Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes in that time period. Dak Prescott has a higher completion percentage than those dudes. So he's getting the ball to his playmakers at a higher clip than literally anybody else on this list outside of Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and it looks like Kirk Cousins are the only ones within that top 10 range. And the only ones on this list, period, whose completion percentage is even close to that. And Jimmy G's is pretty high, but he was running that San Francisco offense, in which is tailored for getting a high completion percentage, right? Then we look at the average yards thrown, because you want to say, oh, it's dinking and dunking. Russell Wilson is known for being a big arm quarterback, 7.6 yards average per throw. Dak Prescott, 7.6. Patrick Mahomes probably has the best arm in the league, 8.1. That's half a yard more than what Dak Prescott's average depth of target was, bro. What are we talking about here? What stats, what facts are you guys looking at that makes the stuff that you're saying make sense? Dak Prescott, 256 yards per game average. You know who that's on par with? Literally every other NFL quarterback. Where did we get this thing of they have to average 300 yards passing to be great? Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback that was doing that. He's the only guy that averaged 300 yards per game over this stretch, bro. Everyone else, Aaron Rodgers actually averaged less yards per game, 253.9 yards per game Then we have Tom Brady, 283, much more than the 256 Dak had. The one big drop-off that you really see are the touchdown numbers. And this right here is a product of how much are they running the ball when they get in the red zone? How much are they running the ball when they get on that 1, 2, 5 yard line, within that 5 yard line? The play calling in the red zone. It's context. How many opportunities to score have there been? Is this different stuff that goes into context with that? But that's the one stat that you can look at and be like, they got Dak there. But then you look at someone like Derek Carr, 165 touchdowns thrown over that same time. Dak is 168. You see, obviously, the three guys above him, much higher numbers. So we're not going to act like he's converting touchdowns as frequently as Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes. But again, there's more context to be had with that even. We see what's going on with the Chargers and Kellen Moore. They can't score touchdowns when they need to. I think Kellen Moore was a big issue. I'm going to be honest. We haven't seen Dak Prescott without Kellen Moore yet. And to me, it was kind of weird anyways that you have a guy who outplayed someone to take his job, then be coached by that guy. That was weird to me anyways, right? By all stats and things that matter, Dak Prescott is still a top 6, 7 quarterback in this league at any given time, and people like to try to leapfrog other players over him when they had one good year. But I don't understand, why didn't we lead Dak Prescott up to like the top 5 in quarterbacks in the league after his rookie year? He had a historic rookie year. He literally had the best rookie year since, I believe it was, who was it? It was someone that he broke records for. My point being, we can't let scrubs like this get away with talking about our quarterback, and some of our fans even trying to agree with this scrub, when our quarterback on paper, he is printed and pressed that he is capable of being an above average NFL quarterback any given Sunday, and that's all you can ask for out of any position on the field. You cannot demand that you have a Hall of Fame player at any position on the field. As a fan base, that's what's going to make you irritated and upset at all times, because that's unheard of. That can't be the expectation. We got to have a Hall of Fame type player, and that's what you're asking for when you say you want someone that's a top 3, top 4 player in that position. That's a Hall of Fame type of player. You can't demand that. All you can expect as a fan is that your team is putting above average players on that roster, and then hopefully it all comes together one year with good coaching and good timing and luck and good health, and we are able to claim that Lombardi trophy at the end of the season. That's all we can hope for as a fan base. But this just a start, bro. This is just a start. The more I see about Bart Scott, the more bad takes. So if y'all want to send me any bad takes or anything, follow me on Clint Wolf on Twitter, and send me any videos, any takes, or anything that you want me to attack on the Dak attack. And that wraps up today's video. Bart Scott, you're a bum. How about them Cowboys?